It's Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon on The State. My name is Anita Nafa. Today promises to be another educative one, and so please do all to join us. We'll be back after the break. Oh yes, the solution to all your travel needs is here. Ankrah Lodge and Travel Services offers you the opportunity to travel to the following countries: Canada, United States of America, Turkey, Dubai, UK, Australia, New Zealand, Malta, Germany, and other European countries, where skilled workers such as nurses, paramedics, nannies and caregivers, drivers, plumbers, masons, electricians, carpenters, painters, etc. are needed for urgent employment. Ankrah Lodge and Travel Services can secure Schengen visas with work permits. Individuals, organizations, churches, schools can contact us for their ticketing and hotel reservation, car rental services, international tour packages, travel consultation, visa assistance, and study abroad packages to all countries. We are located at Mr. Bates bus stop opposite the Calvary Baptist Church at Abaka, Accra, or contact us on these numbers: 0544-279525 or 0545-622-672 or 0302-237557. Ankrah Lodge and Travel Services, your destination, our pride. A warm welcome to you once again. We promise to bring you all the details of what we intend discussing this afternoon. But today on W Briefs, this is what we'll be taking a look at. And so when you take a look at our screens, the fact of the matter is that food safety is the science and practice of handling, preparing and storing food in ways that prevents foodborne illnesses and protects the consumer's health. And so if you are practicing this, then it means that your food is safe. Food safety saves lives and plays a vital role in reducing foodborne diseases. The fact again is that according to the World Health Organization, every year about 600 million people fall sick as a result of around 200 different food illnesses. But 1,600,000 people get sick due to unsafe food every day, and about $110 billion is spent annually on foodborne diseases in low and medium income countries. The burden of such illnesses fall heavily on the poor and the young. In addition, foodborne illnesses is responsible for over 420,000 preventable deaths annually. The World Food Safety Day, WFSD, is celebrated annually on June 7, with 2025 being the 7th edition. The day aims to raise awareness and promote concrete action to prevent, detect, and manage foodborne risk, thereby supporting human health, safe trade, responsible agriculture, and sustainable development. The issue is that Ghana faces a range of food safety challenges that impact public health, economic development, and consumer confidence. So sometimes you're scared of buying the food. But the key food safety concerns include 1, the poor food handling and hygiene practices. 2 is the microbial and chemical contamination. 3 is unsafe use of agrochemicals. 4th one is the inadequate storage, packaging and transportation. There is also weak regulatory enforcement and surveillance, public health impact and lack of consumer awareness. And so as consumers, we are not able to know, or we are not informed, and that is what the last one says. But the big question we are asking, in view of the aforementioned concerns, we ask, how safe is the food we eat? We'll find out soon, as our guests have joined us already, and so please do want to stay with us. We'll introduce them as well as our topic.
Under the distinguished patronage of our founding churches, the Methodist, Presbyterian, Anglican, the Evangelical Presbyterian, the AME Zion, and other affiliate churches of Ghana, the Boys and Girls Brigade Councils of Ghana present the Brigade's Hour. Hallelujah! A stimulating and instructive hour-long, made-for-you TV magazine extravaganza featuring lively archival recap of the history of the Boys and Girls Brigades as international and domestic ecumenical, non-denominational, regimented Christian organizations. Join us on the extensive journey of discovery of the 4 core pillars of all our programs: the physicality of our camping, expedition, and drills, the spiritually uplifting praise, worship, and intensive Bible study for all our boys and girls in our company meetings, highly educational content of our artificial intelligence and robotic contact sessions for all our boys and girls, and our extensive basic and command courses for all our officers. As for the social fit and balance, we rely on recreation, sports, and our youth parliament. Take a cozy front seat and soak in our captivating segments: district, regional, and national reports, denominational reports, international briefs, and the frills and thrills Brigade Drills. Be interactive with us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and WhatsApp, and win excellent prizes on our monthly GB and BB quiz as you join us on phone. Is the Brigade Hour showing live on WTV and PCGTV on Wednesdays at these exclusive times. GB, seek, serve, follow Christ. BB, sure and steadfast. Brigade's Hour. Oh, you Dawson, Toffee.
Good afternoon once again. This is still The State. My name is Anita, but I've been joined this afternoon by some guests from one of the institutions in this country. They are known for regulating and, of course, enforcing the laws when it comes to food, it comes to household chemicals, it comes to cosmetics, it comes to drugs. And so the Food and Drugs Authority is who we'll be talking with this afternoon. But I've been joined by Gloria Odami-Asiedu, who is a regulatory officer, as well as Wisdom Agbli, who is also a regulatory officer. And so these two persons would help us understand what the World Food Safety Day is all about, would ask questions concerning food safety, how to handle foods, and what have you. Our social media platforms are active, and so do well to get interactive with us. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having us.
Okay. All right. Lara, let me start with you. What is World Food Safety Day, and how important is it to us as people living in Ghana?
All right, thank you. Let me start by extending regards from our Chief Executive Officer. Dr. Mrs. Dillis Darko of the Food and Drugs Authority.
Okay.
So World Food Safety Day, we usually say WFSD, is celebrated on the 7th of June every year. And this is not limited to this country, it's a global celebration. So it's a day set aside for us to reiterate, to remind ourselves the importance of taking safe food, which eventually leads to a healthier life. So World Food Safety Day is on the 7th. We commemorate it just as a reminder. From where we are coming from, safe food is our business. So a day like this is so important to us. We do not underrate it at all. Yes.
Well, thank you so much. But I'll come back to you and tell us how to know if the food is actually safe. Because I don't think that when I take a food right now and I look into the food, I'm going to see if the food is safe. So you tell us how we get to the point where we notice that the food is safe. But kindly share with us the theme for this year and what the Food and Drugs Authority is doing.
Okay, so for this year's theme is food safety, science in action.
Okay.
Yes, so it's only just to remind us of the pivotal role that science plays when it comes to food safety.
Okay.
Yes, so I should say that there are new innovations that are coming up as a result of research.
Like what innovations are you talking about?
So now, because there are diseases that are emerging as a result of foodborne incidents or foodborne disease or consuming contaminated foods. And as a result of this, it has necessitated scientists to do research, and based on this research, they are able to come out with some mitigation measures. Yes. So it's just to remind us that science play major roles when it comes to food safety.
Okay. So does it mean that the introduction of science into food safety is going to reduce a typical one, or the common foodborne disease we would know as cholera? Is it going to reduce it?
It's not introduction of science into food safety. Science has always been the foundation of food safety. In the past, our forefathers did some things that they didn't realize they were actually applying scientific knowledge.
Like?
At the time, we did not have cooling systems, but they would cook their soup, and before going to bed, they'll reheat it. They would, if the soup was going bad, they'll put a piece of charcoal in it. So those are scientific.
So the charcoal is actually scientific.
It actually absorbs the poisonous materials from it. So there are things that we did in the past, our forefathers did. They did not know they were applying the scientific principles. The problem here is that there's knowledge and there's application. And I think the gap is that people have, as at yet, understood the science behind what it is they are really doing. And that is where, and for me, if you ask me, this year's theme is perfect. And every year there's a different theme. But if you ask me, I'd say that this theme should be kept for a couple of years, because we cannot do without the science. And if I understand the science behind what I am doing, it would give me some leverage to better know and do things properly.
So as a food vendor, what are the signs that I should know?
So the basic thing is we have microorganisms, we have hazards. We have the microbiological, we have physical, we have chemical contaminants. And then we have the risk. That is the probability of these things causing a harm.
So they are already inside the vegetables, the food that we buy?
That is the knowledge you should come to. The hazard, and then its probability of causing a disease. That would be the risk. And so if I'm a salad, I prepare salad in the evenings, and I've gotten my lettuce, my carrots, my cucumber, my tomatoes. These things are not cooked before eating. And so what I should do is that I should clean them thoroughly wash with vinegar, enough water to get off the sand, then wash with vinegar. If you do not have vinegar, salt, the concentration would also...
Which of the salts? Which of the salts are you talking about?
The
rock salt or the smooth one?
The common salt, the iodated salt.
Okay.
It serves the same purpose. It's concentrated enough. It will kill the germs. When you are done in your preparation, so because you have signs at the back of your mind, you know that I'm not going to cook this food. Because cooking does not only make food tastier and tender and all that, it also kills germs. So that's a science. That's what I'm saying, that as for science, it cannot be left out of food safety, yes. In serving, salads are not supposed to be kept hot. Because
cold.
Exactly. But what do we see with our foods on the market? On the street food, the salad sits there with the cream and from morning till evening. So if the vendor understands what is happening, it takes germs 15 to 20 minutes to double. And it's called doubling time, generation time.
So if there's one germ,
exactly,
it takes it 15 minutes to double.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, so with the microorganism, talking about the duration for replication, it depends on the exact bacteria, each and every
so it differs from one bacteria
to the other. It's not all that, it's not fixed.
It's not
fixed.
The average is what I said.
Okay, so for bacteria mostly I think 20 minutes. Yes.
So if it is one, by the next 20 minutes, it's supposed to be like 5 or 6?
Not 5.
Okay.
So it duplicates. Yes. Doubling time. So if it's 2, maybe in the next 40 minutes, it should be 4.
Okay.
If it is 2, the beginning is 2. The next 40 minutes.
So take like an hour. That gives us like.
We've had 20. So like 3.
Yes.
Yeah. So like you were saying, so the street food vendor knows that I do not have to keep my fingernails
too long,
short. It should be clean. I wash my hand. Basic things. But once they understand the science behind it, I do not use the same hand I'm using to take the money from the customer to pick food. If I don't have tongs to pick something, I'll improvise. I get a gloves or one of the polythings, the rubber, to pick. So those are the little basic things we are talking about here.
Wisdom, you want to add up?
So we have to understand that microorganisms are everywhere.
As we sit here, they are here.
Yes.
Okay. They are everywhere, whether in the air, in the water, or wherever. So with this mindset, it will guide you as to how to go about or how to handle food. If you should go to the market to buy food, you should have it at the back of your mind that what you bought, there's likelihood that there's already existing contaminant or microorganisms on it.
So but the foods on the market, you buy the fresh ones. You don't buy the other ones. I don't want to go into that. Yeah. But you are able to pick what you want.
Yes.
So how then do you buy the infected ones home and then cook it?
No, even with the fresh ones.
Okay.
You are supposed to buy wholesome products, wholesome produce.
Okay.
So we see all those tomato sellers selling these rotten ones, and the issue we have is that we cook and overcook our foods, and so we think that we are safe. But what we should realize is that if there's a microbe in there and it dies, it produces toxin. That toxin, you cannot remove it. So
it's not about killing it. It's not about cooking it and killing it.
Exactly. No, there are some that you can eliminate, reduce to a tolerable, a good level with cooking. But if there's a toxin, no, you cannot. So why do you go and buy? You take your hard-earned money, go and buy rotten tomatoes, take it to your kitchen and cook it. You add spices. No, you are actually eating sickness because we have something acute and then chronic. Acute is you get the effect immediately, but chronic.
An example, you get a diarrhea and you a few hours you're good.
But you might get something later, maybe a cancer, something. Yes. And so one of the things is to when you go to the market, you buy wholesome produce. Even at the market, you should learn to put your stuff separate. You don't put raw things.
You have to segregate them.
Exactly. Even from the market. You know that you... So this is the science that we are talking about. You go with the science mind. You do not buy meat and then you go around buying the other things. So
when I buy meat, how do I keep it until I get the next item?
Unless you have gone with an ice cooler to the market, but it should be the last thing. You know that it will take me 30 minutes from here
to my house.
Exactly.
Oh, wow. That's nice.
Yes, so we have to understand that the freshness of a fruit or vegetable or whatever is not the absence of maybe microbes or harmful pathogens, or does not mean that the food is safe. The food can look so nice, so fresh, but there may be some contaminants.
So when I get to the, you know, wache is like a typical Ghanaian breakfast.
Yes. Exactly.
When I get to the wache seller's place, what should I look out for? Because I can't see the microbes with my eyes. So what do I look out for?
So you want to look at the general sanitation of the place, and look at the sanitation of the vendor. It's not going to tell you if the food is safe exactly, but it will give you an idea of what you are buying. You don't want to see flies settling on the food. She's covered her hair because there's this microorganism, Staphylococcus aureus, is with us. It's on our skin, our nose, our hair.
Even after taking our bath?
Yes, it's with us. But once it gets into food, that's where the problem is. So the general appearance of the person has covered their hair. They do not have earrings. They've not painted, have long nails. The place is clean. There are no flies settling on the food. The salad is probably covered. We are now getting them to put it on ice. Get some ice and...
So it's in a container, but ice should be beneath the container.
To keep it. The wache is hot. That's one of the things.
Steaming hot.
Hot. And then, yes, among others. But not to say that... And then the gutter. If there's a gutter, usually all our foods, all the best foods in Ghana, they say are near open drains, but it's not advisable. It should be clean or it should be covered.
All right. So how do you do this from the FDA's point? When you go to the market centers, what do you look out for? Because let's take a stroll from Adabraka to the nearest markets, the Kimbu area. We get a lot of traders selling a lot of food items. What do you look out for when you get there?
So we have market derbers. We plan and visit the markets. And when we go to the market, we talk to them. It's like we've been doing this over the years, so now we are appealing on their unconsciouses. Because right now there's a lot of adulteration going on. So they are adulterating palm oil with Sudan dye to make it red. But then you see, that is also a problem with the consumers, because the palm fruits we have coming now is not that red. But if we go in...
What is the reason? Because from what I read earlier on the screen, you're talking about food safety, you're talking about agriculture, you're talking about the farm produce. Why is it that we are not getting the red content in the palm fruits?
There's variety.
Okay.
Okay.
Wisdom, you want to add up?
Yes. So we have to understand that in, let me say, in the olden days, the kind of palm fruit that, yes, we use, it's not what we have now, we currently have.
Oh, but we are still planting the same thing.
No, that is not it. We have it's a new variety. These agric. Okay. Agric. You know, the previous ones that we were using was just the local one.
The local one.
Yes.
It comes is very small.
Small.
Yeah, but these ones are very big.
Very, very big, and they don't have the actual color that we used
to have. So that's a natural color.
That's it. Yes, that's
it comes with a natural color.
Yes, that is it.
The smaller ones.
Yes, the natural one.
Okay.
And this one too is the natural color, but just that, you know, palm oil itself is not red as we say in its nature.
So what's the color?
Okay, it's not.
So like reddish orange.
It's not reddish. It's not red, because when you take a sample, let's say you put it on a white material, you just a drop, you will see that it's not as reddish as you are seeing when it is in container. You can try that and see. You will see that it may look like yellowish orange. Yes.
Thereabout. Okay.
So, as she said, when we go to the markets, we do market engagement, especially because we believe in maintaining food safety along the chain.
Okay. But you've clamped down on those who are adulterating some of these items, including the beef where you get the red colors. You've clamped down on a number of products on the market. Why are we still having the tendency of people still going into that business and still adulterating it for us to consume?
So with the beef, we are currently running a research. You know, we've realized that they are using, the color they are using is food grade color.
It's food coloring?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, so it's good?
The issue we have now, is the concentration.
Exactly.
Okay. It could be good, but the concentration they are using is what we are looking into. We are trying to carry out research to know whether they are using the right concentration. Yes, so
are you going to clamp down on bakers too? Because some of the cakes come with food coloring?
Oh, we just believe that let the food be natural. Yes, if you are adding anything that will have any negative impact on the public, we have to come after you. So with the palm oil issue, yes, last year we carry out we'll be doing something we do every year. We carry out sampling and analyze, and if there are some...
That's on their blind side.
Yes, without them knowing. We just
come and buy. So we go to the market and buy. Yeah. Then we take details.
So we can send you to go to the market and buy anything?
Yes, we just go and buy. That's what we do.
And you take it to your lab?
Yes. Okay. So we take a few details from you so that we can link the sample to you in case of anything.
But do you tell them that you're going to use it for blah, blah, blah?
Yes.
Yeah, some know.
Some, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So initially it was underground, but we now want to open up, and so that when we are coming back for you, you know that, yes. But in the past, we just go into the market, I just buy, leave, take your GPS location, something that I can trace back to you, and then I go.
How often do you do that?
Yearly, every year. Yeah. There's a time for that.
Okay. One of these days, I think we have to follow you to town. All right. Oh, so there are particular groups, children and then the elderly. They are normally prone to some of these foodborne diseases. Some of us would have probably some strong immune system, and so the impacts will come, but it won't hit us as hard as it would. But what are some of the common ones that are particular, especially the illness with children and then the elderly? Wisdom.
Okay, so for the common one nowadays, I should say typhoid is becoming very, very rampant. Okay. And I read an article recently, some publication, and I've realized that a lot of these vegetables, this veggie,
the lettuce, the cucumbers, the tomatoes, onions, and
so even me myself, I don't take salad when I go out, even when I buy this wachi. And
so where do you take your salad? You take it at home?
Yes, I'm trying to have my own
farm.
Yes, garden. Yes, I'm trying to have my own.
I thought as much.
Yes, because when you look at now, we are trying to move from chemical fertilizer to application of chemical fertilizer to that is from the inorganic to the organic.
The GMOs?
No. Okay. I'm talking of the use of poultry manure and other stuff. We're trying to move from the organic, from the inorganic to the organic. Yes, but the problem with it is that people don't really treat the manure, which is the organic manure. They don't really treat it well before applying it on the field.
They just collect it and then
they do it, but they don't meet the actual duration
standard.
Yes, the duration that is expected for you to treat it before you apply it. Yes, so especially this poultry manure, salmonella is very, very common with when it comes to these droppings. Yeah. Especially this chicken and other stuffs. Yeah, it's very, very common with it. So according to the research, a lot of the vegetables that they've sampled and analyzed, they've isolated salmonella with almost all of them, especially the ready-to-eat salads. So it's something that we are really, that's why we are working, FDA, we work with all organizations. Yes, all the institutions like PPRSD, MOFA, yeah, so that at least we can maintain safety along the food value chain, or the food supply chain. So that it will not just be limited to just the retail or the consumer end, no.
But this is done in collaboration with the Ghana Standards Authority to give us a particular standard to adhere to?
Yes.
Okay, so, you know, I may say yes, because especially when it comes to the pesticide, there are some chemicals that they will give us the limit, the maximum limit. Okay. The maximum limit, limit that maybe it may not have any direct impact. That is, let me say, acceptable limit. Yeah, so with this, we take data from them and then use these ones to, I would say, to make our policies. Yes, to make our policies.
Well, apart from the media trying to sell us some of the content, some of the, I would say some of these laws, some of these engagements, some of this education to the outside world where others who are not closer to the cities would have. How do you go about to the rural communities? How do you engage them? Oh,
so the FDA is in all the 16 regions. We have offices in all the 16 regions. We work very closely with Ghana Health Service and all some state agencies. So we do education a lot through the. So we are supposed to even monitor the street food through the district assembly, and so we engage them so that what the standards that we want would get it through them. And so as work is being done across. If you come to National, FDA National, just for my directorate, we have 300 national service persons. And
what do they do?
So we are churning out a model, a framework, zone, we call it the zonal framework. So they do not have a desk and a chair in the office. So they go around. And so the street food, the market visitation, the millers. And like we said before, so the gap is the application of the science they know. So we need, and these people have been at it for years. So you know how it is to, when you have to change somebody's mindset. Exactly. So we need to be at it. You go, you tell somebody, don't use powdered soap in washing your dishes.
Oh. You're not supposed to use powdered soap?
No, it's too harsh. It's not made for that.
For the bowls and the plates you're using?
Exactly. It's too harsh, and there are chemicals. And you know the funny thing, they don't even rinse it well properly. And so, don't use it. Use an antibacterial. So you should rinse it like 2-3 times?
Pardon? If you are using it, should you rinse it like 2?
You don't have to even use it.
You don't have to use it.
Okay.
And so they've been doing this at length. You are now telling them that. So it's the everyday talking, getting the message to them, and they're seeing the need not to do it. You get it? And so as for work, it's being done across all this. But then you know that street food too is very, I can just get up today. I don't want to be with FD. I can just bring a table from my room and start selling rice in front of my gate. You know how prolific it is.
Yes.
And so
I'll come to that. The progressive licensing scheme came in and all.
Exactly. Okay. So it's very challenging with that. But with the food service establishment, the restaurant, the chop bars, it's easier. Because if I say that, do this, I'll close you down, I'll put a closure notice, they will do what they have to do. But if I say, don't do this with the street food, tomorrow they'll move the table here and put it somewhere, another space, yes. So it's pretty challenging, but I think that FDA is down there, and with time, I think we are making good progress. Just that as the population also keeps increasing, we'll face these challenges, but yes.
Okay. Now, you in your submission, you mentioned the millers. What do they do? Because I have my item, I take it from wherever I have to. I bring it to you to mill it for me. What have I done wrong?
The millers, we currently realized it's a very delicate area. We realized that most of them are not keeping to the standards that we would want.
Like what standards?
The general sanitation, the water that they use. Because you would go to a milling house and you'd see corn maize that has been soaked for days. And you don't know whether they are going to wash it off. I've actually been to a couple of them. And it's like they've been left on their own for so long. And so now it's like, maybe you go there are pools of water, some stagnant water in the place. And so we are trying to get them, because some of the things, some of what they do there, they may introduce more microorganisms into the food already before it actually gets to us.
So whether or not you cook it, you're still eating it.
Exactly. Like I mentioned, the toxin. So, and there are classes of bacteria. There's some that you can't easily kill with heating, and then the toxin will still be there. So we want to eliminate right from the farm to the fork. And that's why we need everybody on board. Like you were saying, the manure. So I come back to the science behind it. Even the time of application, you should know that you don't do it so close to harvesting. There should be a period from application till harvesting.
Okay.
So it boils down to the science that they need to understand and appreciate, so that you know that when you do this is what will happen. Because especially with the vegetables, we are not going to thoroughly cook them. You eat some of them, you just pick
Salads
a carrot.
are eaten raw. Yeah.
Exactly.
You hardly parboil it or something.
Exactly.
Well, before we go on a break, how do you take care of the restaurants? Because whatever they cook, we don't know. We only pick our phones, go onto the apps, or go onto their sites, and then we order. Whatever is brought to us is what we eat. How do you take care of them? Wisdom.
Okay, so I'll say this in two folds. So the first aspect of it is that the Lord says that before you sell any food to the public, before food will be sold to the public, you have to obtain your food hygiene permit.
Okay.
So there are some that put in application before they start, before commencement of business.
And how long does the application take from your end to issue that license?
Okay, when you put in application, we have to come and inspect the place before you start selling or start food preparation. We have to come and inspect the place and then make sure that you comply with all the food standards or the hygienic standards that may not cause any contamination in the course of food preparation. So when you meet those requirements, then we proceed from there. So not until you are done, you are not expected to start
to put anything on fire.
No.
Okay.
It's an offense. So we can sue you to court. We can sue you when we notice that you are selling food to the public without having a food hygiene permit.
But I still call for parties and I cook and I give to people, more than 50, more than 20 people, more than 100 people, and they still eat the food.
So you are a contract caterer.
Okay.
Are you a contract
No,
caterer?
I'm saying that we go for parties and then they cook, they serve to us 50 people, 100 people, and we eat it.
Okay, so as I mentioned, so I'll come to that point. So currently we notice that there are a lot of people that are not showing up. So we ourselves, we are going after them.
Okay.
So when we come to your end, we close you down.
So am I to pay a penalty?
Okay, yes, we will close you down. You are not going to, because we realized that if we want to, some are ignorant of the law, but we know that ignorant of the law is not an excuse. But we consider, so the first time we come, we close you down and we ask you to address all your issues before you proceed. But when you play stubborn and you decide to continue selling food, then the Lord takes its course. So yes, that is how we run it.
Okay, Wisdom,
Yes.
I want you to hold on for us. We'll come back after the break, and then we'll continue this discussion.
Right.
But this is what we've been discussing right here on the stage. We are discussing World Food Safety Day. How safe is the food we are eating on a daily basis? We pass through all the corners of Accra, wherever we stay, and we are able to buy even the plantain seller, the one who sells the roasted plantain by the roadside. We buy it. We buy roasted yam. We buy any other thing that is food, and we eat. And so please stay with us. We'll be back after the break. Oh yes, the solution to all your travel needs is here. Ankrah Lodge and Travel Services offers you the opportunity to travel to the following countries: Canada, United States of America, Turkey, Dubai, UK, Australia, New Zealand, Malta, Germany, and other European countries, where skilled workers such as nurses, paramedics, nannies and caregivers, drivers, plumbers, masons, electricians, carpenters, painters, etc. are needed for urgent employment. Ankrah Lodge and Travel Services can secure a Schengen visas with work permits. Individuals, organizations, churches, schools can contact us for their ticketing and hotel reservation, car rental services, international tour packages, travel consultation, visa assistance, and study abroad packages to all countries. We are located at Mr. Bates bus stop opposite the Calvary Baptist Church at Abaka, Accra, or contact us on these numbers: 0544-279525 or 0545-622-672 or 0302-237557. Ankrah Lodge and Travel Services, your destination, our pride.
This is the time, no more delay. Yes, yes, yes. I'm so excited. This is the time. No more delay. Call a friend to call another that it is time for the young people to connect right here on WTV. Welcome to I Connect, where we connect youth to Christ. The future is here.
Are you good at news reading? Do you feel talented in television content creation or fluent in articulating programs presentation? Are you knowledgeable in graphic design, video editing, social media management, or any aspect of television production? If so, then you may just be the one we are looking for. Your favorite Christian television station, Wesleyan Television, is in search of suitable individuals to fill the position of a newsreader, programs presenter, producer, graphic designer, studio technician, and video editor to join our team of highly motivated media professionals. Do you feel qualified and interested? Then this is your golden opportunity to shine. Send your application letter and CV to us via email wtvaccra@gmail.com. For further enquiries, call us on 0242 263558. The deadline for application is Friday, June 13, 2025 at 5 p.m. prompt. Please note that only qualified applicants will be contacted. Come join WTV as we reach out to the world with our compelling Christ-centered television content. WTV, reaching out to the world. Welcome back. This is still the States. We have some few minutes before we call it an afternoon, but we are still here with Wisdom and Gloria. They are from the FDA, the Food Department to be precise, and we are talking about food safety. Gloria, welcome back. Thank you for joining us from the beginning. But let's come back to you, Wisdom. You were talking about how you handle the restaurants, those online food vendors, those who do not have the permit. So tell us.
Yeah, so we do online surveillance. So to be able to identify facilities that are operating or that are not in our database.
Okay.
So if you are not in our database, then it means that you don't have the food hygiene permit.
So you have all the restaurants across?
Yes.
Yes, we have
Except
those
for
who
the
are with
new
us.
ones
Yes,
that are
except the new ones.
springing up, yeah.
Yeah. So we go after them using their details. Maybe their GPS address and telephone numbers.
Okay.
Then we will now go after them. So when we go after them, we now close them down. We have to close them down because even in the first place, we should have just sued them to court directly. Yeah.
So why are you not doing that? Because I know you have a legal department.
Yes.
So why are you not doing that?
So we just it's just the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
Yes, because sometimes some of them too are running on ignorance. They are not even aware. They are not aware of the fact that they need to do that. So we say, okay, you are a first timer, so let's just consider their age. Yes, so we close them down and make sure that they comply with the requirement. Then from there, we issue them the food hygiene permit. Then they can continue with their business.
Okay, so how do we know that the permits that we see in some of the restaurants, you enter into a restaurant, you realize that there's an FDA sign or something, there's a small, like an A4 size of a paper with the FDA. How do we see that this one is actually from you? If it is indeed coming from you, what do we see on it?
The one we have now has a QR code on it.
So I can scan?
Exactly.
Okay.
And
so if I scan and it doesn't pop up on your site, then I have to call you?
Yes.
Okay.
But I don't think somebody would...
It's not really common like that.
Okay.
And I don't think somebody would try to do that because that would be criminal, trying to design our
something.
But then having the certificate doesn't mean you're on top. Because it means that at least at the time of inspection, you met our standards. We can pop in at any time, and if we have issues, we will still do what we have to do.
You take the license away?
Exactly. And or close you down, suspend you. At all times, you have to meet the criteria. You have to be compliant.
So once you update it,
exactly,
the vendor has to come to that level with you.
I didn't get that.
I mean, when you update your standards,
Yeah,
once
the
you update your regulations,
Yes.
the requirements,
Yes.
I have to follow suit.
Yes.
So if I don't, then you come in.
Exactly.
But you give me time to follow on that same level, to take that step. Do you give me time as a vendor?
No, not until you meet those requirements. We are not giving you the food hygiene permit.
Okay.
And it's not as if from time to time we are changing it.
No.
There are basic good hygienic practices that you have to adapt in your facility.
Okay.
As in getting a hand washing sink, the critical ones at the washroom door should not open into the kitchen. You should have your assemblies.
I don't get it. Say that again. The washroom door shouldn't open into the kitchen.
Yeah.
Directly facing
into the kitchen. That's a critical one.
Okay.
We should not see live pests like cockroaches. There are things that are critical, there are things that are major, there are things that are minor. So they are graded, the issues, when we come there. And so for whatever things that we see, we would advise. We actually do write out a report and give to you and advise what things you can do to correct them. And then we give you time to do that.
So there are recommendations and there are time limits to it.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Let's take a look at the schools. Our children go to school. They spend the better time of their of the day in school. The canteen, where they get their food from. How do you regulate them, Gloria?
The canteens are also being regulated.
Okay.
Hospital kitchens, yes. So I think last year, GS, there were some collaborations, but we are in full force. So for me, I can even say my ward school, they should go there and make sure that the place is checked and then they are given, yes, so the canteens are checked. In addition, the children are being taught basic food hygiene. We go to schools, there are planned school education programs from primary 3 to JSS 3. And then we teach them on basic things that they are supposed to do, keeping clean, hand washing, so that right from that stage, the message is inculcated, and they will go home and even tell their parents
what to do.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What is what will be your message to food vendors, to everyone who consumes food? Myself, you're hungry, you get into the traffic. There's someone selling fruit juice. I don't want to mention that fruit juice, but it's a popular one on the streets. You get one, and then you're good to go. What would you say to them?
Fruit juice? Is it pre-packaged?
Yeah, pre-packaged one. It's a popular one. I don't want to mention it.
Yeah, so what you should look out for is that whenever you buy a pre-packaged food, first of all, check whether it has been registered. It's having FDA registration number.
Okay.
And then also check the expiring date. And then you can also go ahead to check, have a look at the list of ingredients.
Okay.
It's very important. Maybe you are allergic to a particular ingredient, which happens to be part. So it's good you have a look at the registration number, you have a look at the expiring date, and then a list of ingredients. Yes.
Okay, sure. Now, we know that World Food Safety Day is not just a day event, it's not just a day activity. So, Gloria, what are you planning? I mean, the day is gone, that was 7th of June, but what is next for us? What should we look out for?
So I'll start by saying that food safety is everyone's business. You were saying about the fruit juice initially. It's everyone's business. FDA is just to help ensure. So everyone, you take your safety into your hands. So for this year, we've had talk shows on TV, education. We had a press release. The 7th was on the Saturday, so we had a press release. We've had other media engagements. So yesterday we had a market debate in our community, one market, market, where we really engaged the traders in the market, and we sought to see their concerns and what the issues were, so that we all make food and the market, from the market, safe. We'll also have school engagements, there'll be a chef coordinators training. Tomorrow there'll be a school, Ningo Pam, a school basic school training at Ningo Pam, and many other. But I think the grand climax will be on the 2nd of July. We'll have a scientific conference. I don't know if you've been invited.
Yes. Even today's program and then tomorrow's program, I have been invited, so I'll do well too.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's nice. Yes. So we'll crown it on the 2nd of July, where we'll have the conference. Okay. But then, notwithstanding, after the celebrations are over, food safety is still everyone's business.
Okay. So how do we report issues of food safety violations to the Food and Drugs Authority? Wisdom, how do we do that?
Okay, so we have our contact numbers on the website. Okay. You can also just come to the office and draw your complaint.
So where is the nearest FDA office?
Shashi, that's our head office.
Okay.
Close to the NIA, National Identification Authority. Yeah.
And closer to the GRNMA.
GR, yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Gloria, before we go, finally, what would you say to all of us? We are consumers, we are food vendors, we are traders in the market. One way or the other, we come in contact with food all the time. So what would you say to us?
This year's theme, like I said earlier, is so appropriate. For me, this theme should run for, which is not possible, but food we cannot stay without. And you do not eat all your 3 meals at home. Okay. And so you need to be particular about where you are getting your food. In the same vein, those selling the food, those growing the food, those cooking, right from the farm to the fork, we have to make sure that the food is safe for consumption. If you are growing the pesticides that you are using, all those chemical fertilizers, you need to know the science behind it. If you are selling at the market, how you are storing, how you are keeping it, so that you do not even transfer more microbes than there is already. Okay. If you are also cooking, because cooking is also a scientific method to reduce microorganisms. So it's not through the cooking that you are going to add on. And then you realize that even with cooking, there are other techniques that have come up. We do the pasteurization, we do all those in the vacuum packaging. So the science behind our food safety, let's all get to learn it, let's appreciate it, and let's practice it, so that we'll have safe food for everyone.
Gloria, thank you so much. Wisdom?
Yes, so I should say that you are what you eat. If you eat a healthy food, you will have a good health. So wherever we source our produce from or our ingredients, they are very, very important. You don't go out and say, because this produce is cheap at the market,
I'm getting it.
Forgetting about the safety of the food or how safe the food is. You have to make sure that you buy a wholesome ingredient. My focus is more about this because when you go into the market, people even prefer to buy produce that are on the floor because they believe that these ones are more cheaper.
Wisdom, do you go to the market?
Yes, I do go to the market because we carry out traceability exercise within the market every week. This palm oil traceability. Yes, we go to the market each and every week to pick data from the palm oil traders.
Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of things are going on there, and we have to also understand that whatever you sell to the public, no matter what, the law of karma will go after you. If you don't consume it yourself, your child or your relative or someone somewhere will consume it. And the effect will come. If not directly, it will still affect you. So let's make sure that whatever we are selling to the public, let's add morality to it. Let's allow our conscience to speak to us and make sure that whatever we are selling is something that is good and safe for the public consumption. Thank you.
Wisdom, thank you so much. And so to Gloria Odame-Siedu and Wisdom Aglu, who are regulatory officers for the Food Department of the Food and Drugs Authority, joined us to talk about World Food Safety Day. We've talked about a lot of things, and so let's all be careful, let's all adhere to these regulations, and let's all eat good food because we are what we eat. My name is Anita. Thank you so much for joining us on The State. We promise to hit your screens again on Friday. Enjoy the rest of your day.